Some fun times there in the snow. Well, thanks for joining us here on AccuWeather Weekend. I'm Melissa Constanzer. You saw all the sights this week from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, even into California. We were enjoying some of the snow and lots of ways to play in it. And we're getting more as we move through the weekend, but we're also adding in, too, ice and severe weather. So there will be some headaches, unfortunately. Let's get you started as we look out across the satellite and radar this morning, because we do have still quite a bit of moisture out there. Some heavy rainfall from Arkansas into Tennessee, lots of lightning strikes there. This is one of those areas where not only will we be dealing with rounds of rain, but also the risk for flash flooding that could create possible through the day. And then we could be talking about severe weather with some of these storms as they work their way on through. As you work your way farther north, plenty of cold to create the snow. We've seen already a couple inches of snow work its way through places like Chicago and into Michigan. And now there's this whole other band here on the backside that's going to develop and create some more heavy snow for some areas, at least enough to shovel in a few locations. As you move through the eastern U.S., there's already snow out there in a spot like Pittsburgh. Those concerns will be as we move through time to deal with that threat for severe weather. Here's Nashville. What we'll be talking about, greatest risk is flooding by far. We move throughout the day into through the overnight hours even, and you can see that line coming back in. You can see that extending even towards places like Memphis, up towards the Ohio Valley. Spots across Kentucky that have already dealt this month with flooding. There's more risk of that as we head through time. On top of things, there's a severe weather threat. High risk here, highlighted between Louisiana through central Mississippi, even extending northwards toward rain, moving through Kentucky, lifting northward there. Here's the back edge of this storm system. Comes through with thunderstorms, but watch these individual cells here as they continue to push their way off towards northeast. Those are the ones that could potentially produce tornadoes. And anywhere we get a bow along this line, that would also be that threat for tornadic activity. A lot of damaging wind threat as the storm system works its way east into Sunday morning. And yes, we are still talking about more activity Sunday. Time for music and meteorology with Ariella. Of a headache out times. And along with all of the bitter cold too, of course, as you're watching out for snow, you want to make sure you're careful driving in it, especially if you. Well, of course, as we continue to talk about the upcoming week, we are going to be talking about some more snow coming in, especially across parts of the west as we go through the early week. This is a whole new storm system coming through, and it's going to lead to some big time trouble as far as travel is concerned. And there's still some question marks as to how this unfolds for us. Let's track the upper level energy coming into the western U.S. on Monday here, diving its way on through. Notice how it stays a little bit more flat, but then finds that next storm system, digs it in as it works its way off towards the east. What that will mean for us is more potential for active weather, including more snowfall. First up, where that swath of snow comes out as we head into Tuesday will be, as we know that this storm system will keep moving east with more potential for some of the East Coast. The question, though, will be, does it actually wind up into that big ball of a storm? And there's a range of tracks here, one of which taking it more out to sea very quickly, keeping it more of a flat open wave. If that does happen, that would mean a little bit less snowfall as a whole from the storm system, but it would also put it farther south where that snow would occur, possibly into the Virginia and the Carolinas. If it works its way farther north, well, then we can see a bit more snow as it works its way up the East Coast. Still many question marks, but we are highlighting at least that potential through the middle of next week to find the snow, the ice still working its way on through this region, which includes parts of Tennessee after they get some of the storm. I'll talk about the cold coming in behind this with the still long nights out there. It's going to feel pretty chilly. Arctic air returning to the eastern U.S. and it enters through the plains, then pushes its way towards the southeast. While it does that, some of the numbers will take a tank. First up, we already note some of them falling today, too, for the high in Fargo. 9 of cold across North Dakota. AccuWeather real field temperatures waking up there tomorrow morning will be 30 to 40 below. But you can see even in Kansas City, we'll go into that 10 below range for AccuWeather real field temperatures with the wind wrapping around this storm system. As that storms apart, Sunday's highs very chilly. We'll make it to 26 in Chicago, but look at Sioux Falls, 10, 9 in Minneapolis, and we'll drop the numbers a little bit more. Take a look at Monday's highs. Here we go, 2 below.